Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrea Praber. I'm with Great Expectations Realty, and I am your host this morning on What's Up Ocala. Thanks so much for turning into WOCA today. Today I'm joined with Alex, and Alex is a property manager here with Great Expectations Realty, and you specialize in something special, don't you?
Yes, good morning. So I actually specialize in Airbnbs here. So we have a little segment here to talk about, I think, just a lot of the things that first-time owners and just owners in general are trying to get into the Airbnb. So for example, a lot of calls I've been getting is just, how can I get comparables for them? And, there's this great website called Airbnb DNA that will actually let you put in the address, or if you don't have an address yet, but you're thinking of buying in a certain market, like say Denellen, you can just put Denellen in and it will give you a whole slew of information. So for example, it can give you the daily rates, occupancy rates. If you have an account, they'll actually give you a market grade, which is Airbnb's DNA just kind of is their score of the area based off of the statistics they have. And they really do break these things down. I mean, you're getting down to what sort of amenities do they have, what's the size of the rooms, is this a 3-bedroom, 2 bedrooms, and it'll actually even show you on the map all of the different properties that are on Airbnb, Verbo, or listed on both websites. So you're really getting to see the whole thing.
Wow, it sounds like they've got it down to a science, literally.
Yeah, no, they really do. As far as being able to break down the numbers and stuff to get, as good of an idea of what your funds are going to be looking like from the occupancy rates, what Airbnb, Verbo charges for taxes. It's really an outstanding tool.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's really getting into, how much of a science and how much of a business it is. But a lot of people, they're just thinking about renting out their house maybe for a few months if they want to get away for the summer, or, maybe they're wanting to rent a room or something like that. Obviously, if they're renting just a portion of their house, that's not really what you do, right?
No. What I do is I will rent out the whole house.
Okay.
So, I take up the responsibility of, maintaining it. So when the tenants move out, get it clean before the next guests come in. If something needs to be replaced, so say, the previous tenant dirtied the bed linens, get that replaced in time before the next one comes in. And, any repairs and stuff, make sure we can get that in between guests so that we can provide as seamless of an experience to guests.
Okay. Well, you brought up Denellen, so that's kind of interesting because I was just at a city council meeting last night over there because they were bringing up about possibly regulating Airbnbs over there. What are your thoughts on that? I know you kind of looked at some of the paperwork. It was 16 pages of regulations that they wanted to bring in. So I'm trying to work my way through all of that. But what are your thoughts on it?
Well, from what I've read, it sounds pretty similar to what other counties have been doing. So, for example, St. Bernardino over in California, they have now where you need to get a permit with the county as far as getting any short-term rentals. And they actually have it limited. And it sounds like that's kind of what Denellen's trying to do, but kind of in their own way, because I saw they were actually adding as well that they wanted you to be registered with the DPR, which I think is a little strange. Now, all Airbnbs, you have to be registered with the tax office because, you're collecting tourist tax on the income, but...
Right. Well, Airbnb and VRBO and all, I mean, there's countless websites for this, really. But those, they actually will charge the tax, the state tax, the same as like a hotel or something right on there, right?
Yeah, they will, but you still have to be registered because you have to report it. So even if, say, in the month of August, you don't have anybody staying there, you still have to report that you made, in this case, $0 in tourist tax. Mm-hmm. So even if they are collecting it, you still have to report it to the county.
So these that are actually being done through Airbnb and VRBO and stuff, that's actually making money for the county and the cities and so forth because of those taxes, right?
Yes, actually. You can look at it when you have an Airbnb. You can look at the yearly income, and it'll subtract what was paid out in just taxes, and you can actually see a lot of the income is really going towards these taxes, which are helping to fund the county.
Okay, so some of the things that I was reading on there, They were stating because there's like, transients that are going to be a transient living style that's going to be going into these Airbnbs, but they're worried about that it'll bring down the neighborhood. What have you seen as far as that? Because of course we've heard the horror stories of like, oh, it was like major parties going on and stuff like that. So I mean, you've been doing this for a while. So what are you actually seeing out there?
Honestly, I'm seeing a lot of the people are kind of like a hotel, really. They check in, check out, if their stay's 3 days and, it's a long weekend, they're going to the beach and stuff. They're not really out here, my experience, breaking the house into or, throwing these massive parties that, the cops are being called. Really these are just people looking for, a little mini vacation, and usually, Airbnbs are a better price than something like a hotel does. Would charge you. So it kind of makes sense for them to just, rent out a little house where they have a little more privacy, maybe a better amenities, and for if you got a bigger family than a hotel stay. But really these, I can't say definitively, but, really in my experience, these people haven't really brought the neighborhoods down. If anything, through these local tax, the taxes they're paying through the stays and through sales tax. I mean, really they're helping out the county, helping out the neighborhoods that they're staying at.
Well, I mean, I know for sure one investor in Denellen, actually, they just purchased a home with the view to actually turn it into an Airbnb type residence, a short-term leasing situation. And they bought a house that was, well, we'll say it's not the nicest house in the neighborhood. It was, it needed some work. It needed some love. It had been, we'll say, used and abused over the years, but they spent tens of thousands of dollars into this home. They even put in a piano for their guests and stuff so that, they could be as comfortable as possible and it was as nice as possible. So I think they definitely helped to bring up the neighborhood and bring up the real estate values in the neighborhood by having that as an Airbnb, from what I've seen as well. So
yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, when you think about it, if you're going to be renting out a house, would you really want it to be a house that looks like the roof's falling on you? Or would you like it to be, a house that's nice, presentable, that, you can come in and it's like your home? So definitely that's one of the things about Airbnbs is it kind of makes you have to stay on top of the house. You can't just have it falling apart, which in turn makes the neighborhood look nicer because it's one less house that you have to worry about not being in the greatest shape.
Right. Well, you definitely, keep an eye on things. You have like a ring set up on the one, such as the one in Denellen, and you're doing that with the other ones as well, so that nobody could bring in like a whole slew of people or anything like that, because they'd have to get by the Ring doorbell. So there's no sneaking in a keg party.
Yeah, no,
telling my age, I don't know.
No, we do things like that just to try to minimize the risk. I mean, with everything in life, there's risk. So really it's just trying to find how you can minimize it.
Right.
And, the Ring cameras are, a nice modern feature that you can have it somewhere, say like at the front door, and you don't even have to be out there with binoculars looking at your property. You're here at home and you get a notification that there is motion detected and you can see what's going on. And, it's good as well if, you have to make a claim through Airbnb and it's like, say they had taken a towel with them, well, you can see on the Ring that they took the towel with them when they left.
Oh wow, that's like really getting to another level. So you gotta count the towels. I mean, that's actually a thing though, right? You have to count all the inventory.
It's a whole thing. You gotta count the inventory, because one towel that's gone today, another one from the next guest, and then by the third, fourth guest, it's like you get a guest complain, well, there's not enough towels for me and my family, and it's like,
what just happened?
What just happened? You have to stay on top of the supplies and stuff at the home.
That's awesome. That is really cool. So let everybody know how to get in touch with you if they are interested, or if they just have more questions about possibly leasing out an Airbnb type situation, or even long-term leasing. You do long-term leasing as well, correct?
Yes, I do long-term, short-term, commercial.
You do it all.
I do it all.
Okay.
So if anyone's interested in reaching out, they can contact me through my email, alexhernandez2277@gmail.com, or they can call or text me at my phone number 786-587-6765.
Awesome. So just talking a little bit about the properties that we have in management and everything, how are you finding your vacancy ratios? I know we were talking about that and the inventory that we have with sales is kind of shifting a little bit with the interest rates. What are you seeing as far as the actual sales, or excuse me, the actual rentals? Are you seeing a big change or about the same, or what are we looking at?
Well, right now what I'm seeing is more of the normal seasonal shift. Since we're kind of starting to get around the time of school starting, it kind of tends to slow down a little bit, but really, there's not a sufficient amount of rentals on the market for people that are moving into the area. So really, right now I have no vacancies.
Mm-hmm.
And I have people calling me like they're looking ASAP, they're looking to move ASAP, that they've been, in the market for weeks now, just trying to find something, and, houses are just disappearing left and right. So, I haven't seen that we've really suffered any loss as far as the rental market's concerned with rising interest rates.
Okay, so it's still a pretty hot leasing market.
Yes, right now, the leasing market is still pretty hot.
Okay. Now, what about those Airbnbs? Now, I know there's a lot of people that are looking for rentals short term, especially because they've sold their house up north or down south in Miami or something, and their new construction home isn't ready yet. They've had a major delay because they can't get, the parts and pieces to put the house together, or maybe they don't have enough employees in the construction field to get this done. So, what do you do? Are these who stayed in the Airbnb, because you mentioned like 3 days, or are they going into long-term rentals, or what do you do with that?
Well, first off, I think it depends on what their time frame looks like, because we definitely have rented out to people that they needed a month or 2 months while their new construction's being done. Typically, those will do some sort of discount just because it's a longer stay. But if it's anything longer than that, I've seen most of them would prefer to go into a long-term rental, just because, the builder might say it'll take 6 months to finish, but, you can always expect that there's going to be some sort of delays, so you don't want to be, right up on the 6-month mark, and then the builder tells you, well, we need another month because of material supply shortages, and now, the Airbnb's already got somebody booked for the day after you move out.
Right. So how is your booking? We talked about like the long-term rentals that, we have a lot of people that need those, but what about the Airbnbs? How far out are you booked on those?
Well, on 2 Airbnbs, we are currently booked out already for 2023.
Oh, good grief.
So they tend to book up pretty quick.
Okay. Wow. That's crazy. Well, congratulations on that. That's awesome.
No, thank you.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and talk about that crazy sales market. We'll be right back after this. If you can just listen to our sponsors for just a moment, we'll be right back. Welcome back. We're going to go ahead and talk about this crazy real estate sales market. We've got the market watch pulled up for the last 7 days here in Marion County, and things have shifted. Finally have shifted. They're starting going in another direction. The rising interest rates and the prices have definitely changed things, and there was definitely a panic going on with builders and with lenders and even with realtors. We're all going, what is going on? Buyers weren't sure what to do, if they should go, if they should wait. Sellers weren't sure if they missed the boat. It was just a little bit of mayhem there for the last 2 months, give or take?
Yeah, give or take. About these last 2 months have been kind of hectic.
Just a little bit. But it looks like things have been shifting back just a hair. So we can't say that we're in a buyer's market. Can't really say that we're a hardcore seller's market like we were. It's just kind of shifting more towards the middle. But it is definitely leaning more towards a seller's market. And what that means is it's more favorable to sellers right now. They have a little bit more negotiation power than the buyers do at this point. That could always change. Right now it's changing weekly, sometimes even daily. But on this market watch, we have new listings this week, 245 Price increases. Now this one's interesting. We had 82 price increases, and if you've been listening to us for a while, you know that's a little bit odd. We've been having maybe only 40, so it's actually doubled this week. So price decreases, this is another interesting one. We had 219 price decreases over the last 7 days. And that is significant because we have seen in the last 6 to 8 weeks that price decreases have actually been outnumbering new listings coming to the market. So this is actually down. So the prices increased this week, and the amount of price decreases actually decreased, if that makes sense. So 219, that's still a lot. Don't let me understate that. That is quite a few. That's 219 price decreases. But why it's significant is because it's less than what we've been seeing for the last couple of months. Every week I come on here and share those stats with you. And if you are listing every week, you will know exactly which way those stats are going. So it's really, really interesting stuff. Back on the market, we had 63. So we had quite a few going through. 63 isn't too bad from recent months to go back on the market. That's when a house had a contract and the buyers were either unable or unwilling to continue all the way to the closing table. We had 185 sold homes. The sold is that's actually when the seller gets the money and the buyer gets the keys and everybody walks away. That's actually at the closing table. That's sold. Expired, we had 13, which considering we just started a new month, that's actually not too, that's basically normal to have that many expired at that point. Pending, we had 221. So we are still going under contract in quite a few homes, 221. So we are less houses coming off the market than are coming on. So again, it can waver either way if it's going to be the seller's market or a buyer's market this week. And like I said, it's kind of changing daily at this point. If you as a seller were interested in getting the absolute top dollar for your home, you have missed that boat, you've missed that opportunity, but we are still at the highest prices in recent years, if not decades. So decades, actually, plural. So if you are interested in putting your house up for sale, now is still a good time to do that, and it is a good week for it. So if you've been thinking about it, not really sure what to do, now's the time. Go ahead and give us a call at 352-817-9160, and we will help you out. If you just have questions, we also have answers, and we don't charge for questions. So go ahead and give us a call and find out. For canceled, we actually had 28 cancel here in Marion County. So 28 contracts for houses up for sale where the sellers were like, you know what, this is crazy. I am just not up to doing this. Let's go ahead and wait.
So I just want to point out one difference between back on the market and expired is expired are contracts that have, expired. So these typically could be a 3-month or a 6-month agreement that a realtor will be listing the house for sale. Whereas back on the market it was just they were in a contract, the contract fell through, so it's back on the market as available. So it is interesting to note that we have had 28 canceled properties. So this, we may just see them come back up soon as a new listing. So only time will tell.
It absolutely. So maybe we'll see that next week as a new listing coming back up on the market, maybe with a different brokerage or a different realtor. That's a really good point, Alex. Let's see. I think that's about it. We did have 2 withdrawn, so that might be because of health issues, or it might be just they need to take it off the market for now, or it might just be a nice way of saying you're just not doing it for me, you're fired. So there's a lot of different reasons to see that. We do have 14 that were temporarily off the market. You want to explain what a temporarily off the market is?
So temporarily off the market is, as the name implies, it's off the market, but temporary. Usually these tends to be, say it is in contract, something comes up that needs to be fixed, and they just decide to take it off the market because they know they can't sell until the issue is resolved. Then once the issue is resolved, it's brought back up on the market for sale.
You know, we see a lot of these during the holidays because people have so many family coming in or whatever. So they're just like, I just don't want to deal with any showings during this time frame. Take it off the market. And as soon as the holidays are over, you can go ahead and put it back up. We just see that so much during that time frame. It doesn't mean it's not it's necessarily not for sale. It's just kind of having a pause. They hit pause.
Yeah. They need a breather.
They need a breather. So kind of interesting. Right after this, we're going to go ahead and talk about upcoming events. We have all sorts of stuff going on in Ocala right now, and even more exciting, we're almost into September, which is when the temperature starts getting a little bit cooler, and we have even more outdoor activities. So we'll be right back after this message from our sponsor. Okay, welcome back. As promised, we're going to go ahead and talk about some of the upcoming events. And right at the start is my favorite. Alex, you want to go ahead and tell them about that?
Yes. So it's the Ocala Downtown Market. So it's open Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the corner of Southeast and 3rd Street and Southeast 3rd Ave. So they've got plenty of vendors, fresh produce, food trucks, live music, coffee, and mimosas. Pet friendly, arts and craft playground. I love coming out there on the weekends. You can really get some great produce right there, and it's fresher than the markets.
Oh, absolutely. And there's so many cool things that people are doing right there. I've seen pottery, and this one guy makes bowls out of old blue jeans, and it looks like wood or something. It's crazy. Yeah, the stuff that they have going on out there is just amazing. You got to stop out there. We've also got a special event at the same location. It's a Wolf Stock at the market is coming up August 31st from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. We've got same thing, vendors, food trucks, but we've also got classic rock entertainment by Jeff Brown. There is a dog costume contest at 6 p.m. They're going to have a dog food drive, and you are highly encouraged to wear your tie-dye and your love beads. So go ahead and dig those out of the closet, dust them off, and wear them with pride. We've also got coming out today, actually, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. You want to go ahead and tell everyone about the Outdoor Expo?
Yes, so it's the North Central Florida Outdoor Expo. So it's August 13th, Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's going to be held at the World Equestrian Center, hosted by 93.7 K Country and Wind FM.
We won't hold that against them.
So, it's calling for all outdoorsy, adventure-seeking nature lovers. So this is going to be the place to be for everything outdoors. It's going to be adults $5 at the door. Kids 17 and under are free. The first 100 guests are going to receive some free goodies.
I am definitely going to be out there. I'm going to be one of the first 100. I just want to know what the goodies are. So
I'm always down for free goodies, so I'll be there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just nosy. I want to see. I want to know. They've got kayak and coffee coming up. It's every second Saturday of the month. It starts at 8 a.m. So if you are missing this one, but you want to go to the next one, registration is $50 per person. Equipment is included, and they do offer discounts if you bring your own equipment. I'm going to assume that's a kayak. Each excursion includes coffee and a light breakfast for any of the participants. To register for this next event, go ahead and give a call at 352-671-8560, or you can visit the Ocala Marion County's website to book that.
So on Friday, August 19th is going to be the Learn About Pollinators events from 9 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. at the National Fort King National Historic Landmark. So here we'll be able to learn about the important role that pollinators play in our ecosystem, and the attendings will also get to make a flower bookmark to take home.
Very cool. And I believe all of those are free events that they're having over at the Fort King National Historic Landmark. So that's pretty exciting stuff over there. Well, Alex, if you could, thank you so much for joining me this morning. If you could go ahead and let everyone know how to get in touch with you once again, please. I'm sure they are dying to ask you questions about the fascinating Airbnb industry.
Sure. So my email is alexhernandez2277@gmail. That's going to be the best way to reach me. If not, you can call or text me at 786-587-6765.
Okay, and if any of you are interested in any of our property management services, you can visit our website. Our website for property management is GER.PM.com. We made it simple, right?
Yeah.
Great Expectations Realty Property Management. So GER.PM.com, and that will get you everything you could possibly need, including any of our available rentals or rentals that are coming up. So go ahead and check us out online. All right. Thanks again, Alex.
Oh, pleasure being here. Thanks for having me.